Hi, this is Jon Levey with Peter Bodo for Tennis.com's U.S. Open Report. Pete, day 12, women's semifinals. We start out with Dementieva versus Jankovic. Dementieva coming off that gold medal. She was looking great in this tournament so far. Didn't quite turn out that well today.
Well, I think what really happened there was it seemed to me that Dementieva just flat out ran out of steam. She was playing great coming in. She was playing the trademark thing with her coming in through this tournament has been how aggressively she's played. She's really forced the action. When she's doing that, she's tough to beat. But about midway through that first set there, she had a little bit of a letdown. She really never recovered from that. Even there were a couple breaks of serve after that. So she even said afterwards, she said, I got the Olympic gold. It was my goal for the year. I ran a little bit out of steam here today.
And all credit to Jankovic, who's getting to her first Grand Slam final. Somebody who hasn't been to this final in 6 years, surprisingly, is Serena Williams. She went up against Amara Safina, her first U.S. Open semifinal. How'd that go?
A lot of people are surprised. It has been 6 years since Serena's been to final here. You kind of think 2 years, 3 years maybe. But that was really relevant here because Serena's experienced. She's faced a lot of tough conditions. Safina, on the other hand, is coming to this Grand Slam semifinal, and she hasn't really had to deal with these conditions in her big moment. Beijing was pretty calm. French Open, you had great weather and stuff. And that's a really tough thing to do for a player of relative inexperience. I think it all got to her. Make matters worse, Serena drilled her with a couple of shots, but she started spraying the ball around, make a lot of unforced errors, and pretty soon she was out of there.
Previewing the men's semifinals, first up we've got Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. It's a rematch of last year's final. Obviously Federer took that one, but they played earlier this year in the semis of Australia. That was Djokovic's turn, took him in straights. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I think, what happened, we saw what happened the other night with Andy Roddick and Novak Djokovic. Djokovic went out there to make a statement and play two great sets because Roddick had sort of made fun of his penchant for injuries and was always talking about injuries. So this tells you, Djokovic is really pretty fired up at this tournament. He's running on a lot of emotion. You notice all the stuff he's doing, all the stuff about banging his heart. I think the guy's going to give himself a heart attack. Or maybe he's trying to get his heart jump-started or something. But at any rate, Roger Federer, in contrast, has really struggled here. I mean, the scores don't tell you the real story there as much as the facial expressions, the body language. He makes a good shot now, and he really celebrates, which he never used to do because he made good shots all the time. I think Roger's in a little bit of a depression here. I think Djokovic is really coming on strong. It's going to be a tight one, I think.
After that, we'll get a look at Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray. Nadal 5-0 lifetime against Murray. The first time they played, they had a classic in Australia. Since then, the 4 times after that, it's been all Nadal. Can Murray do anything to change that?
Well, Murray can do a lot of things, and half the time you look at the guy and it looks like he's sleepwalking through the match. He sort of gets mesmerized into playing his baseline tennis, not real positive. But he has a great talent for hanging in there. Unfortunately, I don't think Nadal's the kind of player who can get away with that stuff. I think Nadal jumps on his opportunities. He pushes the action. I'm looking for Nadal really to go out there and start hard, charge right at Murray. Murray really better be on his game. He better be ready to play with his best stuff and no monkeying around, no taking little mental vacations, because if he does, there's no chance for him.
Then at night, it's the ladies' finals. Jelena Jankovic in her first final against Serena Williams. Again, hasn't been here since 2002. They're 3-3 lifetime. Jankovic beat her in Australia earlier this year. Then they had a classic at the end of the Sony Ericsson in that final, which Serena did win. Who's going to win tomorrow?
Well, if it's anything like that Sony Ericsson final, it's going to be a lot of fun, if nothing else, because that was just one of the wildest matches we've seen in many years. Serena had a huge lead. Jankovic fought back. She got back into it. Became one of the most dramatic matches of the year. But I think tomorrow what you're looking at really is Jankovic's ability to stay in points. She can stay in points for a long time, which is her stocking trade. If she can move Serena around, really put her in some uncomfortable positions to hit the ball, she's really got a chance. Another important element in this match is going to be Serena attacking that serve. Now, unlike Dementieva, Serena is a go-for-broke serve returner. And if she can tag a couple of Jankovic's serves, and remember, Jankovic is not the greatest server on the tour, Serena could take control and never relinquish it. Now, of course, you got to keep in mind, though, that you've got Tropical Storm Hannah to figure with. It's supposed to dump 3 inches of rain on New York tomorrow. There are all kinds of contingencies and alternate schedules in terms of what happens tomorrow. For up-to-date information, check our website.
That wraps up day 12 from the National Tennis Center. I'm Jon Levey with Peter Bodo for Tennis.com's U.S. Open Report.